Now, between at 8 Central and 9 Eastern. Okay? Hey, and don't forget to check out on Sundays for those of you that need inspiration and those of you that believe in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You can check us out on Sundays for inspirational programming with Dispersion Radio with Minister Prophet Terrence and his broadcast that is taped, and you can hear his powerful messages. The Elect Lady with Pastor Mildred Darlene Simpson, or you can stream and listen to us live at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, and 5 Pacific with life experiences as we broadcast live biblical studies, prayer, and common elements and things going on in the world on my show, Life Experiences, hosted by me, Derek Craig Stevens. So turn down the football on Sunday for some time and get some enlightenment and inspirational, advancement in your life by checking out all our broadcasts on our sister network, the RealWalkNetwork.com. RealWalkNetwork.com. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's
and Professor,
all of our broadcasts. We got much more stuff coming to you in 2017. And so, Keith, we love you. We thank y'all for all of your support.
And Professor, I got to say to all of our veterans, because today is Veterans Day, all of the people, the men and women who have served in our armed forces, thank you. We appreciate you for all you have done.
Yes, I echo and I concur with Kyle because we have the propensity not to recognize and take care of our veterans. I'm hoping President-elect Donald Trump will honor his words and that he will take care of veterans. There are too many veterans homeless, too many veterans unable to get the treatment. My sister works for the VA hospital, and she shares with me from time to time how sometimes things are it's just hurting that the things that go on and stuff like that. So it's important, people, that we give them more than just a dinner on today. We need to honor our veterans every day because they are the reason why we have the civil liberties and freedoms as a nation to do the things that we are able to do. You don't realize what you have until you don't have it. So let's give honor, not just today, but every day to all of our veterans. I have many members of my family that have served in the veterans, and Kyle does, and so it's important, family, and who that nation, that we just give honor where honor is due.
Hey, okay, Professor, on a separate note, man, did you know my Uncle Alvin served in World War I?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. World War I over in Europe. So and I have his old rifle in my garage, man, and it's just a privilege to hold on to that. That's like family history for me. But to think he was over there, but he wasn't able to fight and shoot or anything, but he was over there still having to serve.
Wow. I thought you was about to say, did you know my big octagon head was able to reach over to Europe for World War One? But that's not what you was going to do from there. So,
what, you're talking about your head again? Yeah, I can believe that.
Look, Dirty Bird James Dixon, you want to say something to the listeners? You got some? You want to give us a report on Atlanta Falcons? You got anything you want to say on this Spanx News Network?
Well, the only thing I have to say is if the Cubs can win the World Series, if Cleveland can win the NBA title, the Falcons can be in a Super Bowl champion.
All right, that's enough. You go sit back over there in the office and do taxes. Now, the messages from James Dixon are going to be edited out, KT.
Well, tell James to keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
That was my son, James Dixon, coming with some foolishness and buffoonery. We're going to see what he's going to be saying on New Year's. We'll say that. All you need to remember, James, we're right on your back. We're watching you. So thank you, James, for making a guest cameo on the radio show. I love that dude. He's very faithful to me. Then I adopted James 14 years ago. He was 19 when I was his professor. In case you don't know where professor comes from, it comes from me being an actual professor teaching at university. So anyway, Kyle, just in terms of coaching, my grade for Coach Payton and Coach Allen and Pete Carmichael, I gave them overall. The defense first half brought it down, but overall, I still gave them an A minus. It wasn't because of Pete Carmichael in the office. It was because of the first half of the defense. I couldn't give them a solid A plus because they did not play perfect in the first half. So I still brought them up though with the 4 turnovers as well as the 41 points. I brought them up to an A minus because offense was A plus, the defense was truly like C minus, and really that average should have came out to B plus, but I couldn't give them a B plus because the performance was, they beat them by almost 20 points. So that was my grade for coach. Your thoughts on the coaching for the game?
I was surprised he was patient enough to stick with the run. But, of course, if you have one of your guys that you just benched to give you a 75-yard explosive run, I mean, what shocked me about Mark Ingram's run, because like I told you last week, when you bench him or you talk about him, he gets mad and usually have a great performance. He did, right? Also, he outran everybody. I was like, who is this guy? Mark Ingram can't outrun Boo Boo the Fool, but he did it on last Sunday, man.
Yeah, I think Marcus got, read all the, doggish remarks everyone said on social media about him and the listeners on WWL. And he probably talked to his dad or something and, put his game face on. And he said, no, Hightower, you're not just taking my job. Not like that, buddy. Now the question is, can he do it this week? If we can see that, I'm not expecting him to get 150 yards against this defense, but if he can come in there and contribute again like that, and then Thursday night against Carolina, then we'll know, he's got his game face on and he's gotten mad. And sometimes it takes getting benched by your coach to push you to the next level. So we'll keep an eye on Mr. Ingram. But I like what I saw from him and Hightower. The Saints averaged 7.0 yards per rush, 35 rushes for 245. So that's an unbelievable average. So let's see what they can do. And once again, the line did a great job. So let's see what they'll do against Denver. And speaking of Denver, let's go into the last segment for tonight, the upcoming game against the Denver Broncos. Before I go into that, I have to talk about for a few moments, the scenario with Kenny Vaccaro. If you're not aware, Kenny Vaccaro, nothing has actually happened yet, but there is suspicion or, allegations that may be pending that Kenny Vaccaro, there's a chance he may get suspended for 4 games due to usage of Adderall.
Yeah.
And when I got wind of this story around 5 o'clock East Coast time, and I was just disgusted. And so I text Kyle and Frank and Ty Beasley. He used to be a part of Professor Speaks. He still reports, in the background. I said, here we go again. As soon as the Saints get on the road, somebody does something foolish or something comes up. Now, in fairness, I don't know the depths of how did the Adderall substance get in Kenny's bloodstream. Number one, all players know Adderall as well as the list of drugs that have to be given out in prescription format for usage. Why he would even use Adderall without getting a prescription goes once again is what I say about these young players. And Kenny has been the most consistent player, at this time on the defense. And
I just have. I'm sorry. I have something to say, Professor, because Lion Yelling from WWL TV, he gave a very detailed report. Kenny Vaccaro had a prescription for Adderall. The problem may have been because the NFL is pretty strict on the paperwork. If you have to be able to see your physician and get a new prescription after 3 years. if he did not fill out the paperwork properly, that could be one of the glitches in this whole situation. It's not that he did anything like he was sneaking to do the Adderall. He had a prescription. It just may have lapsed over the time, and he may not have done his due diligence in correctly filling out the paperwork for a new submission to be cleared of any wrongdoings in taking Adderall. That's the key point of this whole deal.
Well, in that case, if he already had a prescription and he needed just a refill of it in terms of the doctor sent it in, even if they suspend him, I don't think he should be suspended for 4 games.
Well, as Lyons was saying, he said, unfortunately, in these type of cases, even though, because this is the first violation, this is not a repeat violation of Kenny Vaccaro. Even though it may be the first violation, since they take this very seriously when the players need to file these applications, and it's not Goodell that does the suspension. It's I forgot the person's name over the players. They are responsible for doing the reviews and handing out the suspensions, and they do not budge on these type of cases. That's the unfortunate thing. And that's why he's filing an appeal to the NFL at this time. The only thing we can hope, if they, of course, number one, clear him altogether, but number two, reduce it from 4 games to 2 games.
The good thing is he'll be able to play this Sunday, and maybe he'll be able to play against Carolina. Then the only positive is the timing, because he would then miss the Rams game, Detroit, Arizona, and Tampa.
Yeah, and Panthers. Yeah,
those teams are not that strong. Arizona has the most potent offense of the 4, and that would be the bad thing. They need to come back for the Atlanta game, and then I guess the other and that Tampa game, the other Tampa game, the Atlanta game. Because he would only if he plays these 2, then he'll miss. He'll only have 2 games left where he can come back. I'm just hoping something works out for him. And this is an example to young people where you have to know how to handle business, because a lot of young people a lot of times don't really know, how to handle business in terms of dotting your I's and crossing your T's. So it's an unfortunate thing, something we definitely don't need, because Kenny Vaccaro has been the most consistent and best defensive player this year. And, he's really grown up this year and really become a leader and all of that great stuff. So I was just disgusted to hear this report that this had occurred, that he could be potentially suspended for 4 weeks. So let's just pray and hope something happens where, something can be reduced or something that works out in his favor. But if we have to lose him, this would be the better time to lose him had we lost him earlier, because we're almost at the point after this Denver game. Now we're playing, with the exception of the Falcons and Detroit, most of these teams on the same schedule are just the average teams. They're not. There's nobody on the even this game Sunday, as we start to talk for a few moments about this Denver game. There is nobody on the same schedule that I am afraid of. But what I am afraid of is, here is the bad news. When the Saints get to 4-4, they've done this in 2007. They've done it in 2008. They've done it in 2012. They've done it in 2014. They've done it in 2015. Now they've done it in 2016. This is the 6th season where the New Orleans Saints started off 0-3 or 1-4 or 0-4, fought back to get to 500 at the halfway mark of their game, not the season, because the season is 17 weeks. So this is really the middle of the halfway season, week 9. Some teams have already played 9 games. So now, the track record in which the Saints